Hello, this is Maury Giles, and I'm excited to share this message with you tonight. I really wish I was there live, but please know that I'm with my sweet mother-in-law, my wife, and our daughter on our way to show her New York City in the holiday season for the very first time. She just lost her husband, my father-in-law, a little over a month ago. And literally, as you hear me right now, I'm on a flight back east to be able to have that new memory with her. But as we head into the holiday season, tonight I want to begin by honoring the many religious and cultural traditions represented in our Brave Angels community. Today is the second day of Hanukkah. The winter solstice is approaching, Christmas is ahead, and Kwanzaa soon to follow. Now, whether you observe this season religiously, secularly, or not at all, we're grateful that you're here, and we welcome you in a spirit of peace, joy, reflection, and hope. And we'll ask you tonight to consider what act you can take during this season, an action of courageous citizenship to bring more light and goodness into the world. Now, this season invites us to pause, to take stock, and to recognize what we've built together. And that's exactly what I want to do tonight. We've launched this, our first staff and volunteer all hands meeting specifically at this time for that purpose. Now, to get us going, I want to offer a brief snapshot of what this year has made possible for us at Braver Angels, not as a list of tasks completed, but as evidence of momentum, alignment, and shared commitment. But first, momentum. We knew a change was coming. David Blankenhorn, who along with David Lapp and Bill Doherty, founded this organization almost 10 years ago. And David announced he was going to step down. A new CEO was going to be hired. That created a pause for obvious reasons. Now, over the last 4 months, we've worked together to convert that phase into a major energy and momentum boost as we build our next chapter together. For many in our community, this momentum built as we started rolling out things like citizen-led solutions, translating dialogue into practical civic action, and signaling clearly that Braver Angels is not only about talking differently, but acting together differently as well. Now, that's collaborative action, and it's important for our future. We've always done this, but now we're emphasizing it more to meet the moment as we go into 2026 and our 250th anniversary. Over the last month, we've launched a few next chapter work streams. These are teams of national staff and volunteers working with particular focus on the alliance experience, the member and volunteer journey, our tech solutions, and the narrative we tell in the market. Alongside that, we've refined our vision and mission statements, sharpening our purpose so everyone can see how their contribution connects to a larger whole. I'll be talking a little more about that shortly. Internally in the national organization, we've made structural changes to create focus, clarity, and better alignment for staff. We've strengthened how we communicate and lead nationally, establishing a three-part leadership rhythm. The leadership team, which consists of 5 volunteers, Bill Doherty, Jeff Tiemann, Gretchen Schreiber, Eric Ireland, and John Saunders, and 4 staff, me, Barbara Thomas, our Chief Operating Officer, Kira Barone, our Chief Financial Officer, and Andrew Stillman, our Chief Technology Officer. Second, we have our teams meeting that goes through and coordinates everything that's happening across initiatives and structural teams. And a new quarterly all hands gathering. We're doing a version that we do with staff only and a version like tonight that is with staff and volunteers. This restructuring is all in the service of a simpler, more scalable system of resources for alliances and volunteers across the country. We're not there yet, but the journey is well underway. Now, we've also expanded our board of directors, strengthening governance and strategic capacity. We have more work to do there. If you have recommendations for board members, by all means, send my way. We've also created an advisory council made of respected, well-known leaders across the political spectrum, people lending their credibility, their wisdom, and reach to this movement at a critical moment in our journey. Look for some announcements about this in January. One of the most important things we did late this summer was listen. We held 7 90-minute sessions with 509 volunteers. Then I hit the road to meet y'all. I just completed my visit to the 12th city in our Hit the Ground listening tour. We listened to your stories, your ideas, your concerns, your hopes for the organization and the country. And that input is shaping decisions right now, and it will continue to shape where we go next. We must have this ongoing feedback loop to serve and enable you in carrying out this work. Externally, Braver Angels showed up with greater national presence, including direct engagement with elected officials. Through our work with the Problem Solvers Caucus, 36 members of U.S. Congress signed a pledge after a series of political assassinations to condemn political violence and, in essence, to govern the Braver Angels way. That's not symbolic. It's a signal that courageous citizenship belongs in our institutions, not just our conversations. We need to do more of this work to help support elected officials when they govern with dignity and not contempt. You're going to see us inviting you to do more of this, to engage with this support, even if it's with someone for whom you did not vote. They need our support and recognize that we care about this. And we're doing this with intention at scale. The Citizens Commission on Immigration is now bringing members of Congress to our workshops to engage with their constituents across the ideological spectrum. PBS just covered this with Judy Woodruff joining one of the sessions. NBC is now talking with us about showcasing it through their Common Ground series in 2026. We're repurposing the Scholars Council to focus on a defining task, helping articulate what courageous citizenship means for our time and for the future. We've announced national partnerships with practical application already underway, including with the Dignity Index, Common Sense America, Bridge USA, Disagree Better, and soon Be the People. We're looking to announce many more. And for the first time in our short history, we're nearing completion of a 5-year strategic plan, giving us a shared roadmap for growth, impact, and accountability. All of this progress points in one direction. It reflects an organization coming into alignment, clearer in purpose, stronger in structure, and more confident in our role at this moment in American history. And that brings me where I'd like to spend another few minutes of my time here tonight. And that's on this idea of courageous citizenship and what it really means. Now, you've seen that we recently announced our new vision statement. We envision an America where courageous citizenship is the honored norm, renewing civic culture and building trust across political differences. What really do we mean by that? Well, our mission is to inspire and equip Americans to practice courageous citizenship across political differences through skill building, convening, and collaborative action. But when we say courageous citizenship, what really do we mean? I want to offer a few thoughts to help you reflect on this, how we can truly make this the honored norm. At its base level, what we mean is that courageous citizenship is to actively engage in human connection across political difference to build together. Now, let me take you on a little exercise. When you think of cowardice, what do you think of? What's the opposite of cowardice? A lot of times we would say that that's bravery or courage, but actually the opposite of cowardice is recklessness, of moving without care and concern, and cowardice is not having the courage to do stuff. The sweet spot in the middle that we strive for is courage, which requires understanding who you are, what you believe, and then engaging with others with intention. Similar exercise, discord is when there's chaos and people not aligned at all. Now, what's the opposite of that? Focus, alignment, harmony? Well, the opposite of really is unison, where everyone's doing exactly the same thing. That's not what we're talking about. The sweet spot in the middle is harmony. In essence, singing the same song, but with different notes. Now, in practice, courageous citizenship is the choice to step out of the outrage cycle, actively connect with people across differences, and work locally to find constructive ways to heal division and build together. We apply this across the journey of personal recognition that I can choose to act instead of react. I can choose to act together locally, and then I can act for the health of American society. How does that relate to courageous citizenship? Well, first is this internal reclaiming our agency and courage. We're empowering citizens, all of us in our society, with the courage to look inward, set aside assumptions, and reject cynicism. This is where we foster personal agency and democratic responsibility. Second is the interpersonal part of courageous citizenship. It's connecting with courage and with dignity. We actively step across the political divide to engage. This action is grounded in dignity and shared humanity and guided by respectful listening and curiosity. That's how we can build together. And the final dimension of courageous citizenship is more of a civic dimension of collaborative action and renewal. We move beyond talk only to work side by side locally on shared interests and values. This is essential for experiencing collaborative action that transforms division into unity of purpose. This is what we mean by courageous citizenship. As we finish tonight through our session and you spend some time talking with each other, please reflect on what this means and how you can help to make courageous citizenship the honored norm. Next year in 2026 is a major opportunity for us, and it's something that we're going to be able to use to get more attention to this idea of courageous citizenship. May we do it with passion. May we do it with integrity. May we do it with authenticity, and may we do it in a way that demonstrates our care and concern one for another as fellow Americans. Thank you.